Good day, Junior Techies. I'm Mrs. Brunko. We're going to look at Activity 4, Sweet Taste Shop. Sweet Taste Shop uses periodic inventory system and their financial year ends 30 April 2022. They use a markup of 65% on cost. Required 4.1. Explain the difference between perpetual inventory system and a periodic inventory system. 4.2. Complete the missing details in the table in your answer book. 4.3. Calculate the percentage markup achieved. 4.4. The owner intends increasing his markup percentage by 12%. List of 3 factors that the owner should consider before he implements this policy. 4.5. The business sells different kinds of sweets. There's only one person working in the storeroom. He's responsible for receiving and recording stock for purchases and to issue stock to the selling department. State one internal control measure you would put or implement to prevent theft. Information in number A, they provided us with the pre-adjustment trial balance on 30 April 2022. And number B, additional information. The following have not yet been recorded. Starting with 4.1, explain the difference between a perpetual inventory system and a periodic inventory system. So first, if we start with the perpetual inventory system, or another word for that, continuous inventory system, cost of sales is calculated at the point of sale. Stock value can be determined and identified at any time from the records. Cost of sales account is used. Stock bought is regarded as an asset. All cost incurred is added to the trading stock account. But if we now look at a periodic inventory system, cost of sales is only calculated at the end of the financial period. Stock determined or identified by only doing a physical stock count. Cost of sales account is used in the perpetual, but in a periodic, the purchase account is used. Stock bought is regarded as an expense. All cost incurred is regarded as an expense. And when we're talking about all cost, we're talking about your carriage on purchase, your transport cost, your import duties, your custom duties, any other additional cost. That is regarded as an expense. So 4.2, we need to complete the table. So take note of the different ways in which inventory systems can be asked, periodic specifically. That is our focus now. So we start again with the pre-adjustment trial balance figures. Trading stock on 1st of May 2021, which is the beginning of the counting period, that is my opening stock. So immediately take it to the opening stock. Then we've got net purchases. Don't get confused with that credits control which is written in there. Net purchases in brackets. Remember that you need to show your calculations in brackets. If you want to earn marks, show your calculations. Sales, 904,420. Debtors allowances is always closed off to the sales. Carriage on sales, do nothing with that. It has nothing to do with the sales, nothing to do with cost of sales. This has to do with deliveries to customers. That is an expense to the business. Carriage on purchases, on the other hand, needs to be shown. Then we've got custom duties in brackets, 16,400. This is our step number 1. Now we need to go to the adjustments. The owner took stock for personal use at cost price. However, the bookkeeper debited drawings and credited purchases with the selling price of 1,617. So they've correctly indicated it in drawings and in the purchases account. But unfortunately, it was shown at the selling price instead of the cost, which means that the purchase account was credited with 1,617 and drawings was debited 1,617. To find out the cost, we need to take the selling price times 100 divided by 165. That equals the cost of 980. So the amount was actually overstated. To correct this, we need to find the difference, which is 637. Because the credit side was overstated, it means we need to debit the purchase account. And if we debit the purchase account, it means our expense will be plus. Therefore, plus 637. Number 2, or the second adjustment, goods returned to suppliers for 3,470 had been wrongly recorded as consumable stores. This means that consumable stores was incorrectly credited. To correct that, we now need to debit that so that the purchase account can be credited, which means minus 3,470. Then we've got transport charges on stock purchased 1,346 had been inadvertently charged to carriage on sales. So it was incorrectly recorded in the carriage on sales, which is an expense to the business. If it was incorrectly recorded, it means that we've debited it incorrectly. We now need to credit it so that carriage on purchases can be debited, therefore plus 1,346. Received an invoice from couriers on 24 April 2022 for transporting of merchandise. But now be careful. They said to Sweet Taste Shop 780 to customers. I do not care about to the customers. They've only asked me to complete this, which means I only care about the carriage on purchase, which is 780, which should be added. Sold goods on credit to Anne Wu. The original selling price was 13,500. The customer was granted a 5% discount on items purchased as the customer said that she can get it for cheaper. So it means that this business decided that we would rather sell it to this customer, so we are going to beat this price that she can get from our competitor, and we're going to offer her a discount of 5%. This means we need to take 13,500, which is the original selling price, and we're going to times it by 95% to get the selling price. How much did we sell it to this customer after the 5% discount? It would be 100% correct if you took 13,500 times 5% and then you subtract it from the 13,500. You will get exactly the same answer. So this must be added to the sales because goods were sold. Then we've got goods valued at 28,600 were taken from the stores and used in sales promotion. So it means trading stock was taken to promote the business. That would have gone to advertising. Advertising would have been debited, account credited the purchase account, which means minus 28,600. Our last adjustment. Physical stock taking shows the value of stock on hand 30 April 2022 as 226,700. This is my closing stock, and closing stock must be shown in brackets. Once we've done all of this, we can now complete this table by working out the total purchases plus total carriage on purchase There were no adjustments to custom duties, equals cost of stock available for sale minus equals cost of sales. And now we can calculate the sales figure, which means that missing line, it's not a mistake, there's nothing written in there, that's an empty row. That is our gross profit. So sales minus cost of sales equals the gross profit. Now you can take exactly the same activity and practice this on the trading account. To calculate the markup percentage, we need the gross profit divided by the cost of sales. So the markup percentage was 62%. 4.4, the owner intends increasing his markup percentage by 12%. List 3 factors that the owner should consider before he implements his policy. Number 1, we need to look at what the effect on the turnover, as the price will be higher. How will this affect the turnover? The prices of our competitors, the effect on the net profit. So basically, if we're selling it for more, if we increase it by 12%, but it's still less than what our competitors are asking, we will still have customers that's going to buy from us. But as soon as we raise it by 12% and our prices suddenly goes up so much, and it's even more than our competitors, we might ending up losing customers, and that will have an impact on our turnover, which is our sales, and will affect the net profit. 4.5, the business sells different kinds of sweets. There's only one person working in the storeroom. He's responsible for receiving and recording stock of purchases and to issue stock to the selling department. So, state one internal control measure you would implement to prevent theft. This is part of internal control over our inventories that you need to study. 1, you cannot have one person doing all of those things. You have to have division of duties. The same person cannot be responsible for receiving and recording the stock and issuing it to the selling department. Install security cameras is another option which you can do. Thank you very much. The beautiful thing about learning is that no one can take it away from you. Next, we're going to look at activity 5. Have a wonderful day.